So we've done low level or beginner items that everybody needs, we've done mid-level items that everybody needs, and now we are going to be doing high level items that everybody needs. In this video, you are going to find 10 high level items that you are going to want to get in RuneScape right now. If you have them, you can tick them off and say, hey, what a day, good stuff. And if you don't, then you can add it to your list of things to do. All of these items have a really good use, and yes, there will definitely be more than just the 10 on this list, but these are the ones that I've picked out because I find them pretty useful myself. With that being said, if you can think of more, drop them in the comments down below. And for anybody wondering, I will be making another video, which is going to be for very expensive items that people are going to want to get at some point. Okay, so let's go. We ended the last video talking about tier 85 weaponry so that you could get yourself into the lower levels and then towards the mid levels of PvM. We're going to start this one out by talking about you are, as a high level player, probably going to already have or want to have at least level 90 weapons. Now these are really good because of the accuracy and the damage that they put out. The level 90 weapons can probably give you access to every single boss in the game, and so these are definitely something you are going to want to work towards. You obviously have a few different options. You have the dual wield versions, which are going to be your Ascension crossbows, your Seismic wand and orb, and your Drygor weapons from the Kalphite King, or you have the noxious weapons such as the noxious staff, scythe, and the longbow. These are all pretty expensive, with a few of them dropping on the lower side such as Drygor weapons, but they are all absolutely worth their price tag and will last you a long time. So if you are someone looking to get into high level PvM or upgrade your gear, then these will be something you want to work on. If you're already a rich person by now, you could also consider looking at tier 92 weaponry, as of course these are going to give you even better benefits, and some of them come with some pretty nice specs to get as well. I would probably refer you guys to the PvMe Discord at this point to say check out the upgrade order that they recommend for this, as sometimes you may want to skip some tier 92s like the Staff of Siliske and a few other ones as well, so I will link that in the description below as well. This next one is going to be for you rangers and you mage users, which is probably most people because melee is no, it's fine, but this one's for just the other two, okay? This is going to be the Mazcab Ability Codex. This is something you definitely want to pick up as someone who is going to be planning on doing combat quite a lot. You want to get the Corruption Blast and the Corruption Shot abilities from this codex. These are basically extra damage over time abilities or bleeds that you can apply to your targets, but they also have AoE damage on them as well. They're pretty damn useful. They definitely become part of your regular used kit, and you are going to want to not go without them. They cost about 42 million GP for each codex, and while this could have been in the mid-level, I included it in high level because there's 2 to get for just the bleeds, and you may also want to get the other 2 as well. Onslaught, which is going to be a lot of damage output for taking all of your adrenaline and then some of your health, or the Storm Shards ability as well. These are useful in certain situations, in niche situations, but as a high level PvMer, they will have their uses and you will probably want to get them at some point. So in total, the costs of these are going to stack up, but I'd say they are definitely worth it. Number 3 on this list is going to be the Double Surge Ability Codex. Now, this is going to do exactly what it says. It's going to let you do a double surge so you can surge more than once. This is really useful for getting around the map, for doing anything in PvM, for just mobility reasons. It is just something that you're going to enjoy having. It is definitely not needed, but it is definitely something that you're going to want to get, and everybody ends up getting at some point. If you mix this in with bladed dive or regular dive, this allows you to travel a hell of a long way in a very short amount of time, making things like elite dungeons really, really quick, or just being convenient in places like Karapak when he does the dive, or Telos when he does the uppercut, always having a surge available, even if you've had to use one to deal with something else very recently. The last price check of this codex is sitting at around about 120 million GP about 6 days ago. So this is definitely going to set you back quite a bit, and I wouldn't suggest getting it above like loads of other stuff first, but it is definitely going to be in this list for me because, man, I freaking love this thing, and I definitely miss it when I'm playing on my alt account and I don't have it unlocked. Now that you're a high level player, or you're working towards being a high level player, you're going to want to get some Invention Perks. You've likely got Invention unlocked now, or you're very much about to, and you are planning on what to get with it. Well, a lot of people ask the question of, is it worth getting perks? Is there a big difference between not having perks and having just random perks? And the answer is yes. The difference between not having perks and having perks is freaking huge, and there is a massive difference in DPS and quality of life in PvM as well. The difference is going to be something you'll notice very quickly, and even if you're just getting budget perks, which I would recommend doing at first, it is absolutely going to be worth your time. I would absolutely recommend unlocking Ancient Invention through Archaeology, and then working on getting some budget perks just to put on your gear and your weapons and stuff. You will not regret it in the slightest. If you are looking for which perks you should get, then again, the PVME Discord will have some information on this, or you can use the RuneScape Wiki, but I'll link them both in the description below. I'll link the optimal perk setup for the wiki, and then I'll also have linked the PVME Discord for the other ones as well, so you can just check out and see which one suits you best. Don't feel like you have to get best in slot straight away. However, if you have the GP for it, best in slot perks are definitely going to make a huge difference to your account, so it's something to consider. Next, we have a set of 2 items that go together really well, and the reason we're including it as one is because they do go together really well. These are going to be expensive, but it is the Grace of Elves and the Look of the Dwarves combination. Now, the reason you want to have both of these is because they, one, offer different benefits from themselves, but they also work together as well. So individually, the Look of the Dwarves is the best luck ring in the game currently, and it gives you tier 4 luck. This means that you can get an increased drop rate on many of the end game bosses in the game. It is only 1%, but it's still 1% that you didn't have in the past. But it also gives you access to the ultra rare drop table, which is part of the regular rare drop table. Having the Look of the Dwarves gives you access to getting the Hazelmere's signet ring. This is something a lot of people love to chase after and hope for, and this is why you have the Grace of the Elves as well. The Grace of the Elves by itself allows you to store porters in it, which means that whenever you gather a resource, it will be teleported to your bank for you, saving you the time of having to travel to and from the bank whenever your inventory fills up. It halves the prayer drain rate of certain skilling prayers, and every now and again when you are skilling, it will spawn a Seren Spirit, which will be able to be clicked on and drop a rare item or an item from the rare drop table directly into your bank. If you have the Look of the Dwarves active when this spawns, it gives you access to that ultra rare drop table as well, of course, and that is exactly why they are both bundled together in this video. If you are doing a skilling at some point, you're working towards getting 99s or anything like a long grind along the way, having the Grace of the Elves and the Look of the Dwarves with you is going to be something that you will want to do if you have access to that amount of money and you have use for them both. Getting a Hazelmere's signet ring will pretty much set your account up for a hell of a long time, as it's currently still over 3 billion GP right now, so having this combination is probably something you're going to want to have when doing a lot of skilling. Next, we have 2 again, and they are more of unlocks. However, one of them does lead to items, and that is going to be 1, the Elder Overload Potions, which is the best overloads that you can get in terms of boost wise, and the other one is the tier 95 curses, which also is going to allow you to have the Soul Split curse at level 92. A high level player is going to benefit from these so freaking much, especially if you are going to be a PVMer and chasing bosses. Elder Overload Potions are going to be unlocked at level 106 Herblore, so it is a pretty good grind and it is quite expensive, but it's definitely going to be worth it. As for level 95 prayer, after unlocking ancient curses, you will get yourself the Turmoil, the Anguish, and the Torment curses. These go incredibly well with the Soul Split curse, which you unlock at level 92 and makes PVM and bossing and stuff just way better. You definitely want to have these, and they are something that every player has on their list to get. Like, these are things that you can't skip. Like, you just need them. Get them. This one I wasn't sure about putting it in high level or mid level, but I figured it's probably more useful for high level anyway, so that's why it is here. And that is going to be the Enhanced Excalibur. The Enhanced Excalibur is something I've mentioned many times before, so I'm not going to cover it too long in this, but I will put a link to it in the description, of course. But you get the regular Excalibur from completing the Merlin's Crystal quest, and then you can upgrade it to the enhanced version by completing the Seer's Village achievements. The more achievements you do, the better it is, but basically you right click this and press activate to heal yourself over time, and it is super useful for higher end PVM for just healing that costs you no adrenaline and costs you no money. You can use it over and over again on a 6-minute cooldown, and every PVMer I know takes this with them. You can augment it and put some perks in there that you may want to use, and it's definitely something everyone should add to their kit. Next up are the good old Cinderbane Gloves. These are the poisonous gloves that are just insanely OP and best in slot for pretty much anywhere that you can poison the target. Combining these with things like the Reaver Familiar or the Weapon Poison plus that you can buy from the Grand Exchange, you can actually stack up your damage a hell of a lot, and not to mention the Bic arrows that have been added to the game as well. Combining these basically with anything else that boosts poison and then taking them to a poison place can be some of the best damage output in the entire game. So it is worth considering these, but they are just best in slot even without all the other buffs anyway that you can poison the target. They're not cheap though, so it is definitely something to consider, but I don't see these being outdated at any point anytime soon, so I don't think your money is going to be wasted at all here. More items that every high level player are going to want to get is a good pocket slot item, which is going to be your god books or your grimoire. The grimoire from Solak is generally considered the best in slot book for absolutely everywhere, especially once you reach the end game gear. However, you can go for the cheaper alternatives, such as the god books from the Elder God Wars bosses. These would be Karapak the Archglacier and Zuk for the Book of Full, the Book of Jazz, and the Book of Wen, or the scriptures, however you want to talk about it, right? It's the same thing. Each of these have their own effects, and so they're going to be useful in different situations. I have actually made a video, I think, recently about which is best where, but if I haven't, and I'm completely imagining this, I will add it to my list of videos to do very soon. I'll link each of these books in the description though, so you can check out the effects of them and you can see which one better suits you, or just ask people in the clan or in the Discord that I've got linked in the description too on which one would probably be best if you're not too sure. Finally, we're going to talk about ability codexes that are going to make your character stronger. A quick mention of these is going to be things like Greater Chain, Greater Ricochet, and Greater Concentrated Blast, but there are many others as well. There's many to get for different combat styles, such as the ones from Elite Dungeon 2, but many of these are going to be very important for keeping up with DPS requirements at certain bosses and just making your experience better. Some of these can be really pricey, such as the Greater Ricochet, which is sitting around about 1 billion GP, but they are absolutely worth the investment in the long run. They're going to make killing bosses a hell of a lot easier and a lot faster, meaning you can output a lot more money as you can do more kills per hour, and it just makes it easy to kill them too. If DPS caps are needed for certain bosses, having these upgrades makes reaching those DPS caps a lot less effort, and so eventually these just pay for themselves in terms of speeding up your kills. I'll link a few of the upgrades in the description below again, so you can go through and check those out. But as I mentioned, there are a few of the other ones, but these are the main ones I would look at: the Greater Ricochet, the Greater Concentrated Blast, and Greater Chain. Anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of our high level items that people are going to want to absolutely get, because they're all pretty damn useful. Hopefully you found this video as useful as the items are. If you did, then please make sure to leave a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are wanting to see what the expensive item list turns out to be, and also if you just like this sort of content as well. Finally, if you're looking for some more content, you can head over to my Patreon. There's a link in the description, and you can chuck $1 over there to support the channel and also unlock over 10 videos so far, with more coming in the future, and that is always very appreciated. Channel members and patrons, your support on the channel is absolutely incredible, and I appreciate it so freaking much. You guys are keeping me full time, so thank you very, very much. Your names will have been on the screen during this outro, and again, just thank you guys for supporting the channel. That being said, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.